Coming up next on Arizona Horizon, does President Trump have the authority to order military takeovers of police departments in large American cities? Also tonight, a behind-the-scenes look at the Phoenix Zoo's holiday lights being set up despite triple-digit temps. And a look at the Center for Creative Photography, see why it's recognized as one of the world's finest academic art museums. Those stories and more next on Arizona Horizon.
Arizona Horizon is made possible by contributions from the Friends of Arizona PBS, members of your public television station.
Good evening and welcome to Arizona Horizon. I'm Steve Goldstein filling in for Ted Simons tonight. Russian President Vladimir Putin praised President Trump's efforts to end the war in Ukraine more than 3 years after Moscow launched its invasion. That comes as the two leaders prepare for a U.S.-Russia summit Friday in Alaska. Putin made the remarks today following a meeting with top government officials on the summit. He said in a short video released by the Kremlin that the Trump administration was making, quote, energetic and sincere efforts, end quote, to stop the war. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Zelensky and other European leaders work to ensure their interests are taken into account when Trump and Putin meet in Anchorage. Texas Democratic leaders who fled the state to block a vote on redistricting that would give Republicans 5 more seats in the House say they plan to return to the state this weekend. But that may change plans if Republicans call another special session. Meanwhile, in a retaliatory move, California Governor Gavin Newsom is calling for a special election on November 4th to allow that state to redraw its congressional district maps. The goal is to ensure more Democratic wins in the House in next year's midterm elections. And Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs has declared a state of emergency over a bridge collapse in western Arizona. The Oxbow Bridge collapsed August 1st after it caught fire during a wildfire. The wooden structure was the main passageway over the Colorado River for the community of Cibola in La Paz County. Besides destroying a traffic route, the bridge collapse is also causing environmental concerns because it fell into the Colorado River. The declaration will provide $200,000 for the cleanup effort. President Trump ordered the military takeover of the police department in D.C. for what he called the lawless city. Critics have cited official crime statistics showing the lowest crime rate in 30 years, but the Trump administration said those statistics are fake and will go ahead with the takeover anyway. Here to talk with us about the legality of this move is Professor Michael Scott. He's director for the ASU Center for Problem-Oriented Policing. Michael, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Good to be with you.
So, is this legal, what President Trump's doing?
Well, from everything I can tell, it is legal, the action that he's taken. The District of Columbia, of course, is a creation of the United States Congress, and the authority given to the city to run its own police department, granted by Congress. It would take an act of Congress to remove that authority, but the President does have emergency authority to do such.
Are National Guard troops trained for this kind of policing, in the sense of what we think of as what police activity is in cities?
Well, not having served in the National Guard myself, I'm not positive, but I would highly doubt that they are, because it simply doesn't, the kind of work that the National Guard usually does is not similar to what the local police do. Local police training is typically 4 or 5 months, maybe longer, including extensive time in mentoring roles on the streets. So it's highly unlikely that the National Guard would have the same training as the local police.
So that makes me wonder whether there could be intrusion in the sense of what a law enforcement agency in a city like Washington, D.C. or some other large city if President Trump decides to do that. Not from a political standpoint, but actually from a practical standpoint. Could National Guard troops potentially get in the way, unintentionally, of the work that local law enforcement agencies do?
Well, it's possible, and it's my understanding it's not just the National Guard, but it could include other federal law enforcement agencies. The Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department, it's a unique department, it's a unique jurisdiction. It's probably the most heavily policed city in the country, far and away, even just the local police alone. But there are 25, 30 other police agencies. The Metropolitan Police are quite accustomed to working closely with federal police agencies, so this isn't brand new for them.
What was your first reaction when you heard this was going to occur?
Well, I have to say in any other year I would have said I was shocked, because it is. It's highly unusual. I'm not shocked much by news coming out of Washington, as many of us are getting accustomed to, but it's unusual. When these kinds of things occur, they can occur, it's usually in the wake of an obvious catastrophe, a major incident or upon specific request of the local police agency for that assistance, and that does not appear to be the case in this instance.
Before your academic career, you were in law enforcement.
Yes.
Very hypothetical. How would you feel if a department you were running in a city, large or small, and there was not an obvious crisis, and the president or some other person in federal government decided to do this? Would you initially be taken aback, and what sort of questions would you be thinking of if you were at that level?
Well, you'd be on the phone very quickly to ask the leaders of those other agencies, what are you doing, why are you doing it? The local police always, almost always have recognized that the county police, the state police, the federal police have jurisdiction in their city. That's not the issue. The issue is when they go beyond exercising their limited authority and their special authority to take over basic policing functions. And you would, most police chiefs, municipal chiefs would resent that.
So could that resentment cause other issues? Because communication, as you indicated, is, I want to say, probably the most important step of this, to realize, okay, why are you doing it? How does that affect my agency? How does that affect my community? That brings me to the idea of, we've heard so much about community policing in recent years and how important it is to gain the trust of, in a very diverse area, let's say Washington, D.C. is very diverse, Phoenix is very diverse, a place where you have to gain that trust of different communities. Is this something that, I don't want to be the naysayer or the cynic, but could this cause other issues where it could cause certain communities to be more scared, thinking, well, my community seemed to be getting a little bit better, at least when it comes to crime. I'm not sure what this is a new factor that we hadn't taken into account.
Well, there's a lot in that question you ask. Certainly in the long term, this would become problematic, and it's to a great extent unfair to the National Guard troops, to federal police, to ask them to know the city in the way that a local police officer would. They simply will not. Yeah. Short term, if they're limited to just being physically present in public spaces, probably not a huge concern. But the other part of this, and your question gets at, is not everybody in the community going to automatically feel safer when they see paramilitary and military soldiers on the street. In fact, there's a good likelihood it make them feel less safe, wondering why this is happening.
Well, that brings me to the question that we probably ask in every topic, which is perception. How important is that here? Because obviously people are going to, and it is political to some extent. It may be political to a great extent, but at least to some extent. Is there something out of this? If you were thinking a tally sheet of some sort, do you see potential pros and cons to this approach?
Well, it depends on what exactly you have the national or the federal police doing. We have some recent experience here in Phoenix in which Phoenix Police Department invited federal law enforcement agencies to collaborate with them over a long period of time. They were working on similar violent crime problems. Very beneficial, very helpful, but it was all coordinated, a lot of daily communication. This is different, and this would be a challenge for the Metropolitan Police to understand, why are these federal police, what are they doing here, what are they supposed to do, and how are they supposed to work with us?
Very, very few seconds left. Do you expect to see this in other cities?
No, I don't. Washington, D.C. is a unique city, as everybody knows. If the same thing were to happen in another city, I think that would be much more concerning.
Okay. Michael Scott, good to see you. Thanks for being here.
My pleasure.
Join us for 50 years with Peter, Paul, and Mary.
If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning.
It's an anniversary special featuring America's favorite folk group.
The answer, my friend.
Singing the songs that changed history and became the soundtrack of our lives. 50 years with Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Saturday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, why does this violin move this owner to tears?
I thought, well, I don't know of anything that I can bring. And I woke up this morning and I said, my violin, it's over 200 years old. I said, I want to see how much it's worth.
Actually, this is a Survivor. It's a little time capsule.
Yeah.
Better than you think.
That's incredible.
Find out next time on Antiques Roadshow from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Monday night at 7 on Arizona PBS.
It might not feel like it if you step outside, but the holiday season is just around the corner, and the Phoenix Zoo is already hard at work installing lights for the winter season. In a typical winter, the Phoenix Zoo hosts more than 4 million lights and hundreds of light sculptures. And to explain how far along the Phoenix Zoo is in the process is Justin Davis, who is the Zoo Lights manager for the Phoenix Zoo. Justin, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So that's the obvious first question. How long does it take you to put it up? How long does it take you to take it down? Because people are probably thinking 105 degrees today. What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, we actually start in June, very beginning of June, and we go all the way till about Halloween. That's when we finish it. We do the holidays, and then it all comes back down.
So have you ever decided to negotiate with your bosses and say, why don't we just keep the thing up all year long?
We've tried that. The only problem is the trees don't care about the lights, and they'll just eat them. And we have to switch our show up every year because you don't want to see the same tree being green every year.
Okay, that's interesting. So yeah, so what are some of the new things? I mean, you don't have to preview for us, but what are some things that, I mean, how much creativity goes into this from year to year?
Oh, a lot of it. We actually start planning, like for this year, we planned last year. So when Zoo Lights is happening, the next year is being planned. We have a lot of cool new things and other like things that you're used to. We have our 50-foot tree in the middle of the lake that has our lake light show, which is part of a tradition. We're bringing back Django, our talking giraffe, that if you've been before, you'll know who he is. And then we have new stuff like our storybook Nook. You might have a tree telling you a story. We'll have to see.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So animatronic sort of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So I keep thinking about the fact that a zoo is obviously for animals, for folks to come visit animals. Can you do this in a way? Probably, but how do you do it in a way that doesn't disrupt the animals who live there?
Well, we start super early in the morning, so a lot of the animals are still in their night house. We do have to coordinate with all of our keepers to make sure that our machines and equipment isn't too loud for them. And a lot of them, you think it'd bug them, but like our giraffes, they're just curious. So when we're over working by them, they're all just next to the fence line just watching like, what's this other really tall thing over here?
What made you want to get into this? But first of all, what made you want to work at the zoo? Was that when you were a kid, were you thinking about it?
It's a funny story. I actually wrote a report in like 4th grade that I wanted to work at the zoo. And then my father got a job at the zoo 20 years ago.
Okay.
Told me about it. And like he asked, hey, is it okay if I get a job at the zoo? I'm like, yeah, of course. And then because of that, it was kind of a foot in the door. And he said, there's a job opening. And then, yeah, now I've been there for a little over a decade. So it was my dream when I was in 4th grade, and here I am now.
So what does it mean to go from, and I presume, have you been the manager of Zoo Lights that whole time, or has that been fairly?
Yeah, a little over a decade.
Okay,
yeah.
so what was it like knowing you were going to take over this thing that really is, I mean, families attend it like crazy. I don't even know how many visitors you guys get during that period, but it must be tons.
Oh.
So what does that feel like to be in charge of that particular thing?
Oh, it's great. It really is. One of the cool things about the job is the instant gratification of seeing the trees. And then what I like to tell people is I love to be a fly on the wall. You go and you sit, you see the families come in, and you listen for the kids, you know, and the kids are, oh, I love that, what's new? And that excitement that the kids have keeps me excited. Oh, how am I going to grow this next year? What are we going to do, make it even better, and just keep going and going?
Well, it makes me think about whether you're able to sort of implement things based on what you hear, and not person filled out a card, but just the fact that you're out there sort of eavesdropping. Do you pick up on things that maybe you'd wanted to do but weren't sure, or other things just like, that's a pretty good idea, I might want to steal that?
There's kind of, yeah. See, I say borrow forever.
Yes,
but,
sure.
But yes, no, like implementing new ideas and all those other things like that. We do it with like the thought of the children in mind, and when we hear them and they're saying they're dancing, we have a dance floor, you know, and then it's like, oh, what's the new music we can play for them, or can we turn a holiday music into more of a dance song, and then it just grows.
So last question for you. Mm-hmm. Are you as excited to do it now as you were when you started a decade ago?
I really am. I sing Christmas music all year long, and people think I'm crazy. It's what I love, and it's what I do, so I'm lucky for that.
Justin, thanks so much for being here. Good luck with that.
Thank you so much.
Zoo Lights, we love it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Justice never sleeps.
I don't think this was an accident.
Precisely.
We're good.
And all of this is being done in secret.
A project of secret keeping.
There's a connection here. We'll find out what it is.
Is it murder? We need to start investigating.
You could start there. We have a match.
Time is, as they say, of the essence.
The Center for Creative Photography at the University of Arizona is recognized as a top destination for photography. The center currently holds more than 110,000 works by more than 22,000 photographers. Joining us via Zoom to share more, we welcome Amelia Mitskevicius. She's the Norton Family Assistant Curator of Photography at the center. Amelia, thanks for being here. We appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
So it's the 50th anniversary for the center. Can you give us some hints on some special things happening there that people who've been before maybe have never been, are thinking about, wow, 50th anniversary, this is great?
Yeah, sure. So we've got our exhibition Picture Party, celebrating the collection at 50. And, you know, the metaphor of a party just felt really appropriate because we're celebrating this important milestone. But we were also thinking about how, as curators, when we put together a show like this, it's, you know, not unlike hosting a party and putting together, you know, a guest list, a dinner table seating chart. You're thinking about, you know, people who might strike up a conversation together. And so we wanted to bring together some familiar treasures, some unexpected objects. We've got a range of photographic prints, but then also items from our archives.
I'm curious about the fact that I've talked to a few people who, and just a few, who are like, wow, that's amazing that this is in Tucson, that it is in Arizona. One would think New York City, San Francisco, wherever it might be. So when did you first discover CCP, and why is it such a good fit? And I presume you attract people from everywhere, but when did you first hear about it, and what are you passionate about?
Yeah, well, so I'm from Wisconsin originally, and my parents and I were snowbirds who came down to Arizona on vacation. And I mean, as soon as I started studying art history in college, I gravitated to photography, and at one point came and did a day of archive research here for my senior thesis at the time. And so I've actually wanted to work here, I think, since I was maybe 20 years old or something, because the CCP has a global profile. And you know, we are the largest photographic archive in North America, and one of the most important in the world. And it is right here in Arizona. It's such a treasure.
So when it got started 50 years ago, it was tied to Ansel Adams. And I think everyone watching us knows who Ansel Adams is. But there are also so many other things going. I hate to put you on the spot and say, yes, there are famous names. I was thinking about David Hume Kennerly, who had these amazing White House photographs from the Nixon years too. But what are some things that are perhaps more modern or that really excite you that maybe people don't know about?
Sure, yeah. Well, in this exhibition, we've got recent acquisitions by a diverse array of contemporary photographers. We've got objects from our archives that people might not realize we have. And like you mentioned, David Hume Kennerly, we actually have a helmet that he wore while photographing the Vietnam War. Wow. We have, you know, Ansel Adams' dark cloth that he draped over himself while making his pictures. We have W. Eugene Smith's wallet that is kind of molded to the back of his pocket. We've got a set of plates that the artist Carrie Mae Weems made that have a portrait of a woman back in front on them. And so it's, you know, it's just so special that we collect not only photographic prints, but also photographers' working materials, their negatives, correspondence. And that's really one of the stories that we wanted to tell with this exhibition.
I want to go back to what you mentioned about research, because I think a lot of us think about, you know, we'll go to a library at a university and look up the writings of someone, either a famous novelist or the papers of a major world figure in some sort. But photography in this sense, researchers come in and do the same sorts of things, right? But they're looking at it in a different sense. What is it like to have those sort of research materials and have people excited about coming there to spend time in an academic sense that, who knows, may turn out to be an exhibit itself, may turn out to be a book?
Yeah, absolutely. It's thrilling. I mean, we have visitors from all over the world all the time because we are a leader in this space. And when you are doing archival research, I like to convey it as you're kind of immersing yourself in someone's mind. You feel like you're in their head, you're looking at their stuff, you're reading their letters to their friends, their family, their peers, and it really makes a person as a historical figure come alive for you in a way that is very exciting and I think really important for researchers to experience.
Just about 1 minute left, and a philosophical question for you. Obviously, everyone thinks they can take a great photograph, whereas they not necessarily they think they could paint a great painting. How is it that, do you think photography is respected as much as it should be as an art form?
That's such an interesting question. It took decades for the medium to gain respect as being capable of creative expression throughout its history, and that really kind of solidified in the 70s. And I feel like that question of is photography art isn't asked so much anymore. But one thing that I'll personally never get tired of thinking about is how do ideas get into pictures? Yeah. And because you're using a camera, you're using this mechanical tool. How does expression get into a picture? And the easier it becomes to make pictures, people using their phones, using Instagram, I think it is fascinating to keep thinking about that.
Amelia, thanks so much for telling us about the Center for Creative Photography. We appreciate your time.
Great, thank you.
That's all for this edition of Arizona Horizon. I'm Steve Goldstein in for Ted Simons. Thanks for watching.
Hello, I'm Alice Ferris, and we hope you enjoyed Arizona Horizon. For more than 40 years, viewers in Arizona have relied on Arizona Horizon for in-depth coverage of issues of concern to our community. Host Ted Simons has led insightful public affairs discussions on topics ranging from state politics to national policies. Now, we are asking you to invest in this vital community resource that helps each of us better understand the world around us and how it affects the Grand Canyon State. What sets Arizona Horizon apart is that unlike conventional newscasts, Arizona Horizon goes beyond the headlines and sound bites. And over the last few months, Arizona Horizon has provided key resources to help educate and inform citizens across the state with election-related programming. Whether through candidate debates and discussions, Arizona Vote specials, or full election night coverage, Ted Simons and the Arizona Horizon team were a trusted partner you could count on. Who knows what the future holds? But one thing we do know is with your support, Arizona Horizon will be here with us every step of the way. But counting on that hinges on your financial contribution. So please visit us online or call or text the number on your screen with your donation. And when you give right now, we have some very special ways we can thank you. Here's more.
Now is the time for you to show your support for Arizona Horizon. When you make a sustaining monthly gift of $5 or an annual gift of $60, we would love to send you the Arizona Horizon mug with our thanks. Emblazoned with the show's logo, this elegant mug is perfect for any beverage, hot or cold. Increase that sustaining gift to $10 or make an annual contribution of $120. We would love to send you the stylish Arizona PBS tote with our thanks. Emblazoned with the logos of all the local programming you love on this station, this vibrant tote is perfect for the on-the-go lifestyle we all live today. Make a generous sustaining gift of $12 or an annual donation of $144, and we'll thank you with both the tote and the Arizona Horizon mug. Call, text, or go online right now and do your part to continue the legacy of Arizona Horizon here on this station. Thank you.
When you make a qualifying contribution to this PBS station, you can take advantage of a terrific member benefit called PBS Passport. PBS Passport unlocks a digital library of more than 1,000 hours of programming, including Arizona Horizon, plus specials from the PBS NewsHour, a library of frontline documentaries, and other informative programs that bring you in-depth news coverage. You can enjoy PBS Passport on your computer or through the PBS app on your smart TV, phone, tablet, or TV streaming device. You can binge watch dramas, catch up on concerts you may have missed, or revisit some of your other PBS favorites. And best of all, you can watch wherever, whenever you want. You can begin your PBS Passport experience today by reaching out to the number on your screen or going online to give right now.
Hello, I'm Bill Moyers. I strongly believe that the quality of our democracy depends upon the quality of our journalism. That's why public broadcasting has played such an important part in democracy over these last 50+ years of its existence. I mean, this is a place where independent journalism has been able, without concern for the powers that be, to tell what you need to know, to report what is important to you, week in and week out, whether it's the News Hour or Frontline or any of the great documentaries brought to you by POV or Independent Lens. What you can do for journalism and for democracy is to support this station. Because, remember, the programs you count on, the journalism you count on, counts on you. Thank you.
I want to thank Bill Moyers for that simple reminder of the importance of public media, for stating so eloquently why this community service is so vital to the fabric of democracy in our country. I hope you take him up on his appeal for support. Now is the time. Don't wait. It takes just a few minutes to support the news you need and the information you count on from Arizona Horizon. When you do, you'll be empowering truth, accountability, and transparency in journalism at a time when I think it's safe to say it's never been more important. Remember, the programs you count on really do count on you for support. And thank you. If you're already a member, thank you for making Arizona Horizon available for everyone in our community. Perhaps consider making an additional gift to Arizona PBS now. You're going to make a real difference, and you're going to feel great about doing your part.